Org, and it is time for Tasty Tuesday here on Good Things. It is brought to you by PrimeShrimp.com, which is your one-stop shop for pre-seasoned, easy-to-cook shrimp. And the best part, it is delivered straight to your door. You can use code GoodThings for $20 off your first order. So that is Prime, Prime, shrimp.com. And don't forget, too, it has added new flavors, the latest being garlic, herb, and butter, which is probably the most versatile offering yet. You remember, the seasoning is in the pouch with the shrimp, just like the Alfredo. So all you have to do is boil it and then cook your base of choice: pasta, rice, veggies. Serve it up as shrimp scampi or surf and turf atop a steak. All sounds delicious and nutritious. So go to PrimeShrimp.com and don't forget to use your code GoodThings to get $20 off your first order. And you're thinking, shrimp and cookies? Absolutely. You need shrimp with your cookie dough. You should eat your meal first so then you can have your dessert next. And, you know, we're still having our conversation here with Hannah and Nathan, who's with Rolling in the Dough. And yes, that's dessert. But you guys are in Natchez, and you mentioned, Hannah, that you had several jobs within the restaurant industry. I don't know if those are Dallas and then also Natchez, but it feels like when it comes to food scene, Natchez, Mississippi is kind of having its moment of opening restaurants. What's it like there on the square or downtown, or however y'all say it there in Natchez, with the food scene?
Yeah, so I tell you what, when we first moved to Natchez, I mean, it's just a little bitty little place. But it has grown so much in the 3 or 4 years that we have been here. There are so many different new restaurants and new businesses coming into Natchez. Downtown is filling up so quickly. So it's been amazing to watch. It went from being, you know, a pretty empty downtown to, I mean, it's absolutely booming and busy all the time.
Which I know some of that's to all the fun Lifetime movies and things that have come and sort of shot in your downtown, which is crazy to me that they could still shoot a movie in July and make folks look like they were cold at Christmas time, you know, which is nuts. But it's always good to see that there is, you know, economic development, and a lot of that happens around food. Well, you're a success story with that. Started in the farmer's market, got your storefront. You're going to have another one, you know, sort of again. And I feel like the cookie dough is just the beginning for you. You've got like that entrepreneurial sort of spirit, Hannah. And your brother Nathan says that your iced coffee is probably the next big thing to come out of Rolling in the Dough's
Yes.
repertoire. So I'm going to let Nathan brag on this. When did she start making iced coffee?
She started making it probably immediately once we got into our first location. She just started making it as an add-on to what she had already built, and it was incredible. She just poured her love into coffee into a cup for everybody to
Now you're
have.
speaking my language, because I went and got a cup of hot coffee, Hannah, before enjoying your cookie dough. You enjoy iced coffee. So where's the love? Where did the love come for the cold drip versus your traditional coffee?
Yeah, I mean, I think it came from, like, maybe first when I lived in Dallas. I used to work for a pastry shop in Dallas, and she introduced me to this coffee that was sweetened with condensed milk, and oh my gosh, I fell in love with it. I drank one of those iced coffees every single shift that I worked and ate a chocolate croissant. And I think
That sounds like heaven.
yeah, it was it was terrible. I was probably putting on so much weight, but it was so good. And from then on, I mean, I was just an iced coffee lover through and through. I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever. So it's a part of my daily routine. And then I just have so much love for it. I'm like, I have to recreate this for everybody. Because I love it, so I'm sure other people would love it too. So,
And it's not hard to make your own iced coffee, is it? Is it easier to make iced coffee than it is to make cookie dough?
yes.
All right. So how do you, or, I mean, I know you're not going to give away your recipe, but even if you did, Hannah, nobody's going to be able to necessarily recreate it. But how do you do yours?
So it was kind of inspired from that coffee I used to drink at the bakery I used to work at. So it's sweetened with condensed milk and made with a, New Orleans coffee, brewed coffee, and it has the milk in it already. So we just mix up a big old batch of it, and then we serve it over ice, and you can put chocolate drizzle or caramel drizzle over it or drink it just like it is. And so that's kind of how we do it.
Do you still have that at the farmer's market, or is that kind of put on pause until you get your storefront back?
So we actually do sell it at the farmer's market. We bring our whole setup out. So we have all of our cups and our, our little drizzles that we put into the cups. And so we have our full-blown coffee setup out there with us.
Nathan, what's your favorite coffee purchase? What's your little drizzle that you put on top?
I do a buttload of caramel, like lots of ice, and then lots of whipped cream with the caramel drizzle poured on top of that as well.
Yes, with some cookie dough. Yes, it's all sounding delicious. What's next on the rolling in the doughs sort of list of things to accomplish?
Yeah, so I think our next goal is get into our commercial kitchen space and hopefully be able to ship out the cookie dough again. We'd love to get it out to all of our customers who have come into Natchez from out of town, who would love to have it where they are. So I think that's kind of the next step right now is get into that storefront again and get that rolling.
I believe that because I would think everybody traveling in, they have a taste. They want to start, enjoying that back at home. And that's okay. You're just creating that, like, as soon as you get it, man, people are gonna need their cookie dough sort of fix for sure. You mentioned your mom is sort of the one who inspired you to do this at the very beginning, Hannah. Is she, or where did you even get the skills for baking? Because, it's one thing, you grow up and you enjoy sweets or you have this idea, but it's another thing to feel confident in your skills in the kitchen to take on a task like trying to figure out how to make cookie dough. So when did you get your first taste of cooking or baking?
Yeah, so it's so funny. Not a whole lot of people in my immediate family cook. My grandpa was an amazing cook, and my grandmother was a good cook as well. But a lot of it was just experimenting myself and watching Food Network. I've been watching it since I was like 10 years old. I mean, Food Network was in our house all the time. Guy Fieri, all kinds of Food Network. So a lot of it was YouTube, just watching videos and experimenting. I would give my parents a grocery list and say, "Hey guys, do you think I can try out this recipe tonight?" And they're like, "Okay, sure, we'll go get it." And so it was a lot of just my parents letting me have the freedom to just create and try out new things, and that helped me learn. And then later on in my life, I worked at a few different bakeries and for a wedding cake designer, so I was able to kind of hone that skill a little bit and kind of sharpen that skill.
You mentioned you learned how to make the iced coffee. Did you learn how to make the chocolate croissant?
I didn't. I learned like little bits and pieces. I feel
like that should be your next thing to do.
I know it. There's such a like a kind of complex pastry, the process. So I learned a little bits and pieces of it, but it's a very particular process. You have to be really good at the time. I was not very good at that part. So I was like, okay, I'll let you do the croissants and I'll stick with the iced coffee and the other little pastries. So.
Well, don't say no yet, Hannah. You just never know when that opportunity may come back up. Because I'm just now sitting here daydreaming, thinking about the iced coffee and the chocolate croissant and the cookie dough and the run I need to go on like sort of later on. Which I did want to say, Matthew, the bagpiper, did ask for if there was any sugar-free options, which I would say I know that those fit into some people's lifestyles for sure. But you want to make sure you have a good product, and why haven't you done the sugar-free yet?
Yeah, we tried a few different options with the sugar-free. We tried the monk fruit sweetener or the stevia, but we haven't found anything yet that keeps the same texture, consistency, and just flavor with the cookie dough that we really enjoyed ourselves. Because with the cookie dough products, we want to make sure that we ourselves enjoy them so that everybody else can enjoy them too. So we're kind of looking into it and trying out new things, but we haven't quite found the right thing yet.
Well, I'm thinking when you do, it'll be delicious and then people will connect with it. But kudos to you for not putting out something that, the quality sort of comes first. How long has Rolling in the Dough been in business?
So I started rolling in the dough in 2018. I was 17, and it's going on till now. So 2017.
Wow, that's fast, Hannah. It's taking off really good. All right, Nathan, you're going to keep in the kitchen with Hannah? You can bring in your own recipes to try or just do whatever she tells you to do?
Well, one thing I've learned to do from being taught to be a baker by Hannah is I actually learned how to make bread. And I love
So the
and enjoy
chocolate
to make bread.
croissants on Nathan.
Yes, I'm the bread guy. So I make like baguettes, I make rolls, stuff like that.
Pretzels.
Just good feast.
It's National
bread.
Pretzel Day.
Is it
It
really?
is your day, Nathan.
That was the first thing I learned how to make. I was like, I want to know how to make a pretzel because
Like
that's
the big soft kind that you dip
Yes,
into all the perfect sauces.
butter and the big coarse
Why do I
salt.
feel like there's going to be another business that comes out of your family that we'll have back here on Good Things? Well, you guys, it's been such a pleasure getting to know you and your business, Rolling in the Dough. When you get your storefront up and you are shipping that out, you be sure to let us know, and we will alert Mississippi that they can get cookie dough. If not, they can go where now, though?
If they just follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Rolling in the Dough, that's where we post our most recent updates.
Alrighty, you guys stick with us. We got more for you up next. Out more. I want to find out more about the photo that came in on the ceasefire text line: smoked bacon wrapped chicken tenders with a Carolina barbecue glaze. That's something for a tasty Tuesday. And Rhino, you said looking at that photo makes you want to do what?
Yeah, there's just something about the way the glaze is nice and shiny on the smoked bacon-wrapped chicken tenders. It just makes me think of shrimp skewers. Like you got the shish kebab or the skewer, or whatever you want to call it, and you've got shrimp and pineapple, maybe some onion or some bell pepper or something. You just make a whole stick full of awesome.
You know, a whole stick full of awesome, too, would be like anytime you're grilling. I haven't tried this yet, but when we go back and talk about the prime shrimp, the signature series, you could, and I probably even the Creole one that you enjoy, you could make a whole skewer of that.
Louisiana shrimp bowl.
The Louisiana shrimp bowl. Why? I can't ever remember that one. But it's a longer name, the Creole one. But you put those on, and then you could throw those on the grill and then add that as that extra side to anything, or make your kebabs off of them. But who just eats one kebab anyway?
Well, here's the little secret tip for if you're trying to do something a little healthier and you want to add some
You're
prime
going to need
shrimp.
it after the cookie
Oh, yeah.
dough.
I'm going to have to think healthy after eating a half a tub of cookie dough. But what I do, because I'm a little finicky about when I put protein on a salad, if it winds up at the very bottom, I feel like I had to go through all the rabbit food to get to the meat. So it's just something about the way it looks. Just having the meat sitting on top, I feel like I'm doing more when I'm eating the salad. Mm-hmm. So for shrimp especially, I'll get a shish kebab or a skewer and stick them on there. Even if I didn't even cook them on there, just stick it on there and then sit those on top of the salad so it doesn't sink.
I like it. It's
It just
easy.
makes it more appetizing for some reason.
You know, another combination that I feel like it's so simple that, and I didn't get a photo of it, shame on me, but I still go back to the signature shrimp thing. But you could also do this with any simple grilled fish or chicken that you may want or lean protein. But it is and I can't remember the name brand of it, but it's the cilantro lime rice that comes in the box. You just find it. I think there's several name brands that have it, but it's like
I've had it in a bag, and yes, it's delicious.
it's like wherever the yellow rice is, you know,
Oh, yeah.
the Mexican rice or whatever it may be. There's something.
Find the shelves with the big bags of rice and look up and to one side.
Yeah, and it cooks up so easy, and it's already got the seasoning in there for you. But it's refreshing, but spicy, kind of like has a spice to it, earthy, all at the same time. I don't know, but it makes for a bed for a lighter protein. So the shrimp would go perfect, or grilled chicken tenders, or like a fish or something like that would probably be better with it, or any other seafood. I mean, you could eat it with whatever, but we're getting into that season where, you know, you change how you buy things up, and that starts to make the rotation a little bit more often than the yellow rice and some of the other rices that sort of come through. We doing it easy over to Turner House, y'all. We ain't trying nothing too hard for sure. Absolutely, for sure.
Speaking of rice, that's been kind of one of my go-tos with prime shrimp, because prime shrimp's so simple. You just take it out of the freezer, put it in the boiling water, set your timer, and then come back when it's done. You could do the same thing. I think it's Vigo brand, whatever it is, the rice that comes in the packet and has got the bright colors, and you got all these different colors for different flavors. Mm-hmm. You can just mix and match all kind of different flavors with the prime shrimp and flavors with the rice. cook it all together, and it's super simple and super delicious.
Super delicious. And two, we had, and I know we're running out of crawfish season. It's coming down to the wire. You got a couple more weeks. But we had a crawfish boil this past weekend, and your leftover, usually you have more sides left over than you do crawfish. Somehow you think folks are going to eat like 2 corns a piece or 2 potatoes a piece, and they really don't. They're there for the crawfish. It's me that's there for the sides.
It ain't a tater bowl.
It's not a tater bowl. So if you did have the Louisiana shrimp bowl in your freezer and you had your leftovers, I know some of you are weird and will heat up and eat crawfish the next day. That's just odd to me. Most folks, it's just not as appetizing, but the sides are still good.
I don't know about reheating it. If I still got some in a bag, I might have some still cold, but I don't know about reheating day-old crawfish.
Well, I mean, it's not going to hurt it. It's just not maybe. It just doesn't feel right. It just when it's.
I just feel like I'm going to do something wrong and I'm going to bite off into it and it's going to taste like a dog chew toy.
Well, I mean, even it'd be a little rubbery.
Oh, yeah.
Well, a little bit of heat would help it peel easier is all I was trying to get at. But you could use the Louisiana in its place is where I was trying to go with that. But you need to go to primeshrimp.com and use code GoodThings. Get your $20 off. Try it once. See what it's all about. And I promise you, you won't regret it. But you got plenty coming up next with the boys with Sports Talk Mississippi from 3 to 6. I think there's a Governor's Cup or something fun going on tonight. But until tomorrow, Rhino and I'll meet you back here at 2. But until then, I hope you all find time for the good things.